Going. Hey guys, hey gun people. We're still working on this part 2 on these different ballasts, changing your fluorescent bulbs over to LED bulbs. Now, on part 1, we already did this one. This was a single ballast. You can tell the ballast we moved there was one piece. There he is right there. So that's a single. What we're removing on these other ones is called a split ballast. So it's got it on both sides. They're a pain in the butt. So we're going to go through little steps here and show you on each one. So this is...
Yeah, we had to take 5 lights and break this down or it would have been...
And also, before I forget, Robby's got a couple videos on his channel. What's your YouTube channel?
NTEX, NTEX Rob.
NTEX for Texas. Rob?
Rob.
All right, NTEX Rob. I'll put a link in the description. Go there. If you want a video from him, he's like a he's a mechanic, electrician, gardener, he plants. So if you want a video from him on something or you got a question, he's a good resource.
I have a video of a homemade antenna for HD antenna that I made out of parts that you probably have laying around the house, and it was free.
And it gets good reception.
Yeah.
Gets great reception. It's not on the outside of his house, it's in his attic. It's pretty cool. So anyway, let's start on this. So this is a split ballast type. If you're going to buy one, he bought his lights, buy this type right here, and he bought this type. If you look at one of these light fixtures, what'd you pay for those, Robby?
$11.46, I think.
$11.46 on Amazon.
No, HomeDepot.com on the light. And then the bulbs came from Amazon.
The bulbs came from, Amazon, and the light fixtures came from Home Depot.
T12, just get a standard T12 fixture, cheapest you can find, because you're going to be tearing it out. All you need is the metal casing.
Right, and the 2 ends that hold the bulbs.
That's it.
Okay. So you can get the cheaper. If you don't have these, you just want to get LEDs, then buy the cheap one, get the single ballast, and look at the first video, and it's pretty simple. These are a little bit more complex. Go ahead, Rob, I'm sorry.
Those bulbs, bulb, fixture, and all cost $31.60 out the door, tax and everything.
And that's LED with, how many watt?
Mine are 22 watts. You got 24 watts.
24, so they put out a little bit more light. And man, I'll tell you, it's really great if you want to change these. So on this one, we had to take it apart, which is kind of a pain in the butt. We didn't want to do it on TV. You had to clip all these little clips. And then you pull apart, and he's going to show you what parts to remove.
And why not to buy one of these?
And yeah, why not? Yeah. If you've already got these, this is why we did this, because I already had 5 that I had to redo. If I was going to go out and buy them, you definitely want to get the single ballast, not the split ballast. So he's not really going to do nothing. He's going to cut on this one, right? Are you cutting this one?
I'm going to cut on this one. We've taken the ends off, and we've got to get these 2 transformer ballast parts off on each end. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to go to cutting, because we're not even going to keep the switch, the pull switch, anything, because it's all switched in your garage anyway.
Yeah, what I've done is I've just wired all my sockets that I plug into light fixture. So when I turn on the light, it gives power to all my light sockets, and these are plugged in to the light sockets.
And you're not pulling chains on each one.
Yeah, so he's removing a switch, which is good. Again, less parts, just like guns. Less parts, less thing to go wrong, get dirty, failure. Removing a switch, and he is removing...
I'm removing the power cord as we speak.
So the power cord's connected, I think 3 wires. I can't really get a good view in there. There's 3 wires, there you go. And so he's cut that off, and the switch is attached to that board.
Now here's where we get to shunted and non-shunted.
Okay.
This is a shunted fixture. This is why I say buy the bulbs with the hot and neutral on each end, because this one is only has 1 wire, and you can see this little jumper right here.
I see it.
Jumpered over to the other pin.
Right.
You can't use the bulbs with the hot and neutral on one end, because you only have 1 wire going in here without cutting, and it's crap.
Okay. So he's going to remove that. Cut those wires.
We want everything gone. We just want wire.
So he's basically just removing those little parts. Wherever there's a wire attached, he's getting rid of that plate. And then once that plate's gone, in the trash. No more good. So then those wires right there, he's going to, on the next one, we'll go ahead and strip those and cut them, but he's got to remove them on this end.
That's right.
He's going to come down to this end and remove this one. There's a little piece right there. It's got...
There again, we're just going to...
Hang on, you went to the wrong one, but I was focused on the other one.
We got to do that anyway.
Yeah. So he's just going to cut those wires. Again, anything that's connected to that plate or board, we're basically just removing everything that ain't a wire.
Because it's direct wired in. All
Right.
we want is...
Hang on, let me get over here. Okay.
All we want, and we gotta kind of keep as much wire as we can, because you'll see in a minute it's...
Yeah, don't be wasting wire. Otherwise, you're going to be splitting the wires and adding wire nuts and adding wire, which we're going to have to do.
This, it's...
So that's the piece. Oh, good. So, all right. So once he removes those, if you have these lights, then we got the next one to where you need to strip the wires, and then he's going to connect it. Get rid of those computer parts so they don't get confused that we need any of that. Okay. So he's already stripped those wires, but basically he's going to strip those wires so he can connect them together.
But here's where we run into a problem. We had to make a jumper because the wires wasn't long enough to reach all the way.
Right.
When we pull this back,
correct,
we need to be able to have a little bit of
yeah,
wire.
so these two wires here end up being short, so he's going to add...
We're going to jump them in here in just a second. We're going to go ahead and wire up the pins on that end, and then come back and run a jumper.
Okay, I'll move over here to get those pins. So basically you're just going to...
So what we're doing, because these are the color, that end's yellow, and on that one we made the yellows neutral, so we're just kind of following. These are going to be the hot side, so we're sending the hot to this end. And all I'm going to do is we're going to take two wires from one tombstone and wire it together. Just wire nuts.
Okay.
Twist them tight enough where it starts twisting the wire.
Puts a wire on there, so that's a gray wire and there's a brown wire. So you connect whatever the two colors of wire, one goes to two wires on one side, and one goes to two wires on the other side.
Power. Hot wire. And then it wouldn't matter if we did the hots on yellows. If we'd have done the hot on yellow on that one, we'd have just made the colored on the other end neutrals. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do here is we've got both of them wired together, and in a minute we're going to jumper these two wires together so it doesn't matter that they're wired separate. Right. And then you put this back on, which is a pain in the ass.
Alrighty, that clipped in pretty nice.
And then I'm gonna get Rick to step back here, because to make this jumper is just a lot easier.
Let me move this back over here so I can get the whole light in there and they can kind of see it. Alright, so I'm coming over here to...
Now, I've got some 14 gauge Romex laying around, and what we're simply doing is we're just taking and grabbing, actually I'm gonna grab the red out just because it's a hot wire.
You saw him bang on that end, that's how you get the wire out.
Here's the black one. We'll strip this wire, which is, like I said, 14 gauge Romex. This should be enough for these lights. And we're going to wire nut. We're going to take the two that we just wired from there, and we're going to take, and we're just going to jump over.
And that's basically just an extension wire, just makes it longer. Because once we cut them and did all that, it made them too short.
Which, this would be a fail point, considered a fail point. But you have to do it. There's no way around it. And because Rick's going to be in code, we're going to, if I can find the tape, we're going to do a little tape around it.
Yeah, when we were talking about code, different states have different code. And when I was at my house for code in California, when I was at my old house, it had to be black taped. He's saying it doesn't have to be taped here unless it's at a junction box, you said? Or?
No, it doesn't have to be taped at all. If it's, it's in a junction box, it's fine, unless you need to phase it. If it was a black wire, but it was actually a neutral.
Right, when you use a hot wire for a neutral, yeah, then you put the same color tape to make the wire.
White tape the whole thing.
So taping that down didn't really do anything other than to secure the wire, secure the nut. So now we're going to run that wire, after I connect this side, underneath this little metal piece here.
Out this end for the business end.
And then he's going to pull that tight to where I have no tension over here.
Yeah, you can twist that up.
I don't know if I'm...
It can be kind of cumbersome on some parts. Yep. and then clipping that in.
And you're probably not seeing what I'm doing. I'm just kind of clipping this in.
It's a pain in the ass. Is what
this goes underneath?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll just say that one's clipped in on that end because I don't think y'all can see me. Then he's going to...
Here's where I talk about saving wire. These I clipped right at the board. They're still too short. So we're just going to make another jumper, a fell point, but we have to because...
Wire's too short.
Neutral.
Okay.
You'll probably need some wire nuts.
And again, if you don't have to do all this, if you buy the right ones, but if you happen to have these, if you have the split ballast already.
I'm sorry.
What?
If they have these already.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass.
They are. I wish I didn't have them, but unfortunately when I bought these, this is the only one they had enough that I bought, so I bought a bunch of them and they were a pain in the butt. He's like, oh, it'll be a second. And then we looked at them and we went, oh, shit. So basically he's connected those wires all together to make
one wire so we can wire it in.
One wire, so we just have two wires that's going to go to the power?
Hot to neutral, and then we'll tie in the ground here. Gotta have that ground. Don't shortcut the ground, even though it'll work. Don't need anybody getting fried. But these are so short, they're a pain in the ass. That's why we've had to put a jumper here. Typically stay away from it. And if it was this fixture, I could show you how to pull that wire and put a new jumper in, but it is what it is with this.
All right.
Hot wire, neutral, and our ground. Our ground will be coming from the power cord here, but when I freaked out when I first did this, but I didn't like the way they designed it, so we decided to redesign.
Cut my damn power cord. I'm like, dude, that's my power cord. And he's going to show you how he fixes that on the next one.
Yeah, that's... So we're going to get rid of this because it does kink the wires. It's actually, to me, this is the fail point of this fixture. So we just get rid of this by just...
And that was just basically the wire holder, right?
Yeah, that's all it did. It crimped it down, but it crimped the wires way down.
You got to realize these things are sold as like one-time use throwaway. They're not made to be worked on. So taking them apart and doing all this...
Just
a little
wire
plastic...
crimper, it holds it in place.
Right.
We're going to put a better one in. So we'll come down to this one. This is the part I cut out. This is the hole. This was a hole for the switch, for the pull switch, and this is the hole for the power cord. So all I'm doing is taking a 7/8 Forstner bit, and we're going to make our own power hole, and I'll show you why. If you go to the electrical section at Home Depot, you can get hit locks. Normally they're gray. These are black, and I decided to use them because Rick likes matchy things.
Oh, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. I told you not even do that, and you're like, it's important because it holds the wire. I was like, just don't put anything. Shove it through the hole. And he's like, no, 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 no.
So once you snap that hit lock in, you can push these wires in, and once they're pushed in, you can't pull them out.
Oh, so you can't actually, if there's any pressure you trip over it, it's not going to rip it out.
It's in there.
Okay.
And it's not crimping down on the wires like that last one did. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to strip. I'm looking for my good strip. This is 3 wires. Here's the big importance. Ground, hot and neutral. These, it doesn't really matter on this fixture except the ground. The ground is the middle wire in this. And if you look up in here in the wire, it's got some green insulation on it. I know that's ground. I also know it's ground just because I've done this before. But the middle wire on this is the ground. This one is the one you have to make sure.
That goes to the green.
Hot and neutral, you can...
It doesn't matter. They can, yeah, either side.
Either side.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we're going to get some more wire nuts. And ground this fixture. And then we're going to grab.
I'll try to come over here because I can't really see those. Hang on, guys. I'm moving the camera. Got all kind of shit in the garage I'm getting hung up on.
Yeah, I got shit everywhere.
All right.
Brought too many projects.
So, all right. So you hook the ground up.
And then what we would do is we would slide this wire in like we did down here.
Right.
And we would hook. We'd strip this wire.
That's from the power cord.
Correct.
And one side's going to go to neutral and one side's going to go to the hot, right?
Correct. So one of these will be hooked here. One of these will be hooked to the black. We'll snap the fixture together.
Correct.
Kind of like we did down there. And I'm going to do this one because we already run it under.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just do this right quick so we can show them what a pain in the ass it is.
Just a little time consuming. I mean,
It really is.
It's getting it apart and getting it together because these are like one time. They're not made to be worked on, so they don't.
Drill that out.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. We can run this one. Right.
Yeah, we'll just run that one.
I'll
You
let
can
Rick
fast
get
forward
set.
if you don't want to watch this or whatever, but so I'm hooked in here.
He's got under this channel.
Lifting up.
We're just gonna put this in this channel.
So
I'm gonna pull on it, and Rick's
Keep
going
pulling.
to.
okay. Hold
Rick's
on.
gonna pop that one in. Hopefully. Got to go under. This has to go under.
Yeah.
Once again, buy a single ballast fixture.
Yeah. No okay. Just gotta go under.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if any of this is even on camera because I'm not looking. I think I'm on.
You're on. You can grab the camera and show
Okay.
them. But it's a big old pain in the ass down there.
Okay, so hopefully that's in there. It's snapped in there. The wires run underneath the middle. And now this side's out here. It's just hanging. That one wire coming out is the wire that he added because the other one was too short. He's going to
Just
cut
in
it to
that
length,
channel.
right? Strip it so it'll fit on the wire nut. Connect it to one of the wires on the power cord.
Get my wire nuts back over here. And then we're going to try to put all this together. This is where it becomes kind of another just pain in the ass. We got to have the neutral. Which I know what the neutral is, so it's not going to be the same on any fixture.
So the neutral is going to the neutral wire on the power cord.
And the hot coming in is going to the hot wire in the channel that we wired on the
Right.
other end to the, what is it, gray and brown.
Right.
And then the...
Now if you switch those two, is that a big deal?
No.
Okay, so not the end of the world. They can go either way. As long as your ground's right. As long as your ground's good.
Because then you go kapow.
Right.
Not in a good way. And then we're just going to get all these stupid wires fit behind this channel and snap this piece back together. And I knew doing this on camera would take forever. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And then snap that little wire stripping. There's a fixture. If we plug that in with bulbs in it, in theory, it'd work.
And here's the one we finished on the last one. So he's going to plug that in right there. Here's your
Yes.
plug.
This one we had finished. We put the bulbs in.
And both lights lit up. And that's your thing. And that's a box for the...
For these lights, they're, I think they're 6,000 Kelvin bulbs, 24 watt, like I said, Amazon, and the more you buy, the cheaper they are.
Yeah, I think I paid $142 for 16 of them. If you buy them like in 3 or 4, I think they're maybe, what, $6-8 a piece?
Yeah. These Barina, out of all the research I did, they're good with shipping. They're good packaged. They're quick. I mean, in 2 days I had them sitting on my porch and not a bulb broke.
Yeah, I agree. I got mine 16 and they were great. You definitely want to buy the single ballast. If that's the tip on the first video we did, much easier. You cut one out, it's easier to go for the hot wire or in the cold. The split ballast, again, you can tell it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Kind of cheap looking too.
So, all right, so we'll end that there. Hopefully put questions in the comments. Go to his YouTube channel. What is it again?
Intex Rob.
Intex Rob. All right, and we'll end that there.